Hello, my name is George Petrucci. I'm from the California State University Maritime Academy, and today I'll be speaking to you about ocean acidification. Ocean acidification, the other climate change problem, and unlike global warming, ocean acidification is a direct result of CO2 emissions into the atmosphere and into the ocean. What happens within the ocean is that the CO2 from the atmosphere gets pulled into the ocean via diffusion. According to the new recent estimates by the Earth System's Science Data Discussions, the ocean brings in 2.5 billion tons of CO2 per year. Unfortunately for the ocean, the massive intake of CO2 increases the acidity of the oceans as measured by the pH scale, a scale that measures the concentration of H+ ions in a solution. By the end of the century, ocean acidity is expected to increase by 150% from a pre-industrial revolution pH levels 8.2 to 7.8. Okay, so why does this even matter? When CO2 enters the ocean, it disassociates and forms carbonic acid, which then disassociates again to form bicarbonate, the high concentration of protons in what is measured by the pH scale as acidity. This is a solution that's called carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is dangerous when it comes to calcium carbonate-based structures because carbonic acid reacts with calcium carbonate ions to form bicarbonate. And over time, the process leads to a decrease of carbonate ions in seawater or calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is not abundant in all seawater. Below a depth of about 4,000 to 5,000 meters, depending on your location, the rate of calcium carbonate is supplied to the water decreases and what remains is dissolved. Sea cells, chalk, coccolithophores, and coral reefs, what do they all have in common? They all contain calcium carbonate shells, which are the reinforced structures of their bodies. Now, the compound is special and is very abundant salt in the ocean. This is why so many organisms use calcium. It is readily abundant and easy for them to use to build a protective structure. To demonstrate ocean acidification as represented through these eggs, we've created 4 different vats of varying concentrations. First, we have a control to show baseline, followed by a 50% vinegar, 75% vinegar, and 100% vinegar. Through the corrosive nature. We chose eggs because their shells are both made out of calcium carbonate, and we chose vinegar itself as well to show a low level of acid and its effects on the calcium carbonate shell over time. We will talk about coral reefs because they undergo calcification or they create calcium carbonate shells. You may recognize coral reefs from these wonderfully colorful pictures. Coral are amazing animals and make these structures out of calcium carbonate. They provide a safe location for small sea creatures, creating a wonderfully diverse ecosystem. As the oceans become more acidic, their carbonic acid slowly dissolves the calcium carbonate in the corals, making them weak and susceptible to disease. At the rates of increasing ocean acidity, coral reefs will produce calcium carbonate 10 to 50% less. This will affect their function within the ecosystem and likely even affect how the ecosystem thrives and functions. Without live coral, fish can't thrive and must seek out a new home, completely changing the ecosystems in the ocean. This has potential to affect the amount of marine biodiversity, potentially collapsing marine food chains. And if marine food chains collapse, global economies that so readily depend on them will collapse as well. Ocean acidification caused by increase of CO2 emissions is a problem we should pay attention to for our future. I hope you have learned something from this video. This is George Petrucci from the California State University Maritime Academy. Now to party.